Mass shootings, they're not for America anymore. They're happening throughout the world. Obviously, of course, we had horrific shootings in Paris and in Belgium, but one now in Germany, and it's in a small town called Viernheim. It's near Frankfurt, and it was in a very crowded shopping area that usually has about 20,000 people go through it every day, and luckily, no one got killed, but 23 people have been injured, according to the latest reports that we have in. So once we heard of a mass shooting in Europe, of course, everybody was concerned. And the second, of course, honestly, is everybody was asking, is it a terrorist attack? Is it ISIS? Is it a Muslim guy who did the attack? Well, it turns out it's likely not a terrorist attack. In fact, that's officials that are saying it. Quote, initial police reports state that the armed man was operating alone and does not have terrorist ties. Focus reported the man was described as disturbed. Now, another lucky turn of events is that they believe he was shooting blanks. Now, of course, the cops didn't know that, so they get into a shootout with him, and he was killed in that shootout. So it appears right now, the only person killed was the person who was doing this shooting. But now that we find out it's not a Muslim guy doing a terrorist attack, everybody loses interest immediately. Then that becomes like, oh, a mass shooting. Well, we have 2 of those a day in America, so that's not that big a deal. But if it was terrorism and it was the same exact shooting, then it would be a giant deal and we would blame people. But if we don't get to blame people and it's just a guy with a gun, well, you have that happen less frequently in Germany because they have very strict gun control laws. So it's not as likely to happen as it does here. Of course, it's in fact big news the one time that it happens in Germany. For us, it's a daily occurrence in America. Gee, what's the difference? Oh, right, we don't have strict gun control laws here. Everybody's allowed to get a gun in about 30 minutes flat, even if they have mental health issues, they're terrorists, they're on a no-fly list. Anything you want, we'll give you a gun here. So now that it's not a terrorist, everybody can turn away now. It's just a brief flash in the pan. Stop paying attention and let's move on with our lives. That seems to be the conclusion of the majority of the press. At least that's the story for now.